opening a template in Studio One and setting up a template. So I've got Studio One over here. So I can just launch. Come over here to New. User. These are my templates. And I'm ready to record. So it literally takes that long to be up and recording. Setting up a user-defined template in Studio One. It'll be real similar, virtually any DAW. So I've launched Studio One. This is the window that comes up. So I want to go up here to New, because basically the procedure is to set up a new song or session or project, whatever it's called by your DAW, and then populate it, tracks and the routing that you like, and add any plugins that you might like. So New. Record and mix new Studio One song. This is what it looks like in Studio One 6. Now I'm going to name it. Going to call it template. Ready to go. Hit OK. So I have a blank song project session. So now I start populating it with tracks. I like to record my guitars in stereo, or that is a stereo pair, but I record them onto their own mono tracks, but you can use it stereo. One key to making DAWs really work for you instead of you working for it is to label and organize everything. So I label everything. I label my tracks, sends, all of my inputs. Custom labeling everything helps me stay organized, and I think it's one of the keys to really being comfortable working with your DAW, because you always know where you're at. For instance, on the input, the default input would be input 1, input 2, 3, 4, etc., however many your interface has. I name them specific to the mic that I'm actually going to use on it. I've got audio tracks selected. I'm going to do guitars. Generally, the first thing I record is my rhythm guitar. These are the microphones that I record guitar with. I have a pair of them. N22 I have a left and a right. So like I said, they go onto their own mono track. When you look at the mixer, it'll be laid out left and right on those channels. So that's good. Ascending is checked here. That means Studio One will basically slot however many tracks you have selected. It'll slot those number of inputs in an ascending numerical order. So input 1, input 2, input 3, input 4. And that's what it's doing here. This is actually input 1, input 2, input 3, 4, etc. Good there. I want mono. You could do stereo, but I'm going to do 2 mono in this case. Did that here. Okay, so here they are. N22 left, N22 right. And then if I pop up my mix window, you'll see there they are, left and right, physically. This is going to be my, in a space pair configuration facing me, this is going to be the left-hand mic and the right-hand mic. Okay, now I'm going to add tracks. Here's a tip. Studio One will add any new tracks just below or just to the right in the mixer window of whatever track is highlighted. So if I do 2 more tracks and I leave this highlighted up here, it's going to slot them in right here, and then that'll screw up the numbering and I'll have to shift them around. In order to get everything to go smoothly, remember to keep highlighting the last track so that new tracks will be slotted in here. Okay, new tracks. I want to do 2. They're going to be lead guitar. One of them this color, 2 of them, N22 left and right. That again, same pair, because I'll be dubbing that in. There we go. So now I want to do vocal tracks. So again, make sure, highlight here so that it'll put the tracks in here. Okay, I'm going to do 2 of them. Part of my organizational scheme is to keep everything differentiated by color. So vocal tracks are magenta, guitar tracks are light blue. And also I use a different mic. So I come here to my input and I'll use this. My ADK is my large diaphragm condenser mic, highlighted here. Now I could do them one at a time, label the next one background vocal, or I can just do them like this. Go ahead and label this BG Vox, and then this input, I want it actually on the ADK, because again, it slotted them in the ascending order. Okay, so now the only thing left to do is on this simple basic one, I'm not going to do any buses or any of that. I typically like a high pass filter EQ on every audio track so that I don't record in any boom. So to do that, I come up here over to this side. That's the browser window. Then I come over to effects. Here's the PreSonus effects. Come down to the EQ. And if I highlight all these tracks, that is click, hold down shift, click again. Now when I drag this, it'll put this same EQ on every track. And I want it on this EQ in PreSonus, they call it LC, I believe, for low cut. And I want it set up as a high pass filter. I'm going to make it a little steeper, 24. And I'm going to take it down to about 60. Or I can type it in. Hit return, 60 hertz. Okay, as you will see, if I expand all these, this is only this one that I just did this on and have open. It is set up as a high pass filter. The rest are just the default with nothing on them. But all I have to do is simply click on this one and drag it over here, and then boom, it'll set them all up. So now I've got a high pass filter on every channel. So I want these 2 tracks to be record armed. So now, final step is come up here to File, come down here to Save as Template, click OK, and I already pre-named it when I set it up. So now I close it. So New, down here, Template, double click, and in seconds. And that's the beauty of templates.